If you don't know me, I'm Cierra. I am the author of Rerouting Your GPS Never Fails. I'm the creator of the School of Predestined Purpose and the founder of the Black Scribe Tribe. And I wanted to come and spend some time with you guys and give you a couple updates from last month because I kind of went MIA on everyone and had some great things happen. I was able to get rest. I was able to kind of get my mind together before it was time for the baby. And if you've been following me, then you know that that has been a pretty big deal this year for a significant reason. So, just to tell you all a little bit about myself. Previously, I was an SLP, which is a speech language pathologist, for 4 years. It only took me about that much time for me to learn that I wasn't where I wanted to be in life. Long story short, I was led to leaving my lucrative career and stability to hire God as my CEO, meaning he was taking over everything. I gave up control, responsibility. He was my he runs everything, literally. So when I started this journey with him, it he led me out of my job and through a lot of experiences and tests and that I could have never experienced. I mean, I would have never imagined happening. And that was from September 2018 until today. But within those first few months, God did some really amazing things in hindsight that led to me writing my first book. And that book is called Rerouting Your GPS Never Fails. The GPS stands for God's Positioning System. If you haven't read or purchased it yet, it's about God rerouting my life after giving him complete control and responsibility for every decision that I make. And I mean, literally every decision. Every morning I wake up and I talk to God before I do anything else for that day. He gave me experiences and he gave me words, every experience and every word that is on every page in that book. Every experience and every word on each page, he gave it to me. And when I say I had no idea what I was writing about, how it was coming together, I didn't even know it was a book until a couple weeks before it was actually published. So that was that. The book provides tools and resources for if you feel that he may be doing the same in your life. And by the same, I mean, you may feel like you aren't doing something that's fulfilling for you, or you don't feel like you're living in your purpose or doing what is you were actually put on this earth to do. So we go through some tests and experiences, and hopefully the book will be able to help you all to find out maybe this is what's been going on if you didn't already know. So one of the biggest things in the book that I've received the most feedback about was, funny enough, the biggest trust test yet, at least into that point in my journey, which was my pregnancy story. And if you don't already know my pregnancy story, if you haven't heard me talk about it live, if you haven't been following me for the past almost year, then I would suggest checking out the book because all the details in there are in there, and I don't want to spoil any part of it. But when I say that test made me really believe that God is real, yeah, you can't tell me anything different at this point because that's the first test that he chose to put me through for this reason. So here we are, about 10 months later. So you all can do math and you know the science of how long it takes for a baby to be born. So I will come back with a little more of that update soon. But the beginning of July was kicked off by me attending a faith-based entrepreneurship conference in Washington, D.C., and that was the first weekend of July. And the reason why that was significant was because, excuse me, originally God had told me that I wouldn't be able to go because it was the end of my pregnancy, and literally it was 4 days before you're even allowed to fly again. I mean, fly at all when you're pregnant. And he originally told me no, I couldn't go. And so probably about the week before or 2 weeks before the conference, he tells me he's releasing me to go, but not only is he letting me go, he is sending me. And so it was something different about when he said, I'm sending you to this conference. So I closed my journal because, like I said, so he sent me to Millions Conference, which was the name of the conference. And by sending me, I mean that next morning I had an email that said I was gifted a ticket. The morning after that, I had an airline ticket paid for. The day before the conference, I found out my hotel room was paid for. So I was flying to DC, and it was a series of storms going on. So flights were getting delayed left and right. Long story short, they had to change my flight. My bag got lost. It was a carry-on. How you lose a carry-on, I don't know. It was a carry-on for a reason, but God orchestrated all of this before I even got on the plane, right? So I get to DC, don't have a bag. Friends, ironically, packed extra clothes that could fit a 9-month pregnant lady for whatever reason, and I was able to be clothed the next day. I had to call my husband and tell him about my missing bag, and he was like, you need to go and find new clothes. You need to pack everything new. I mean, just go shopping and get you some clothes to wear or whatever. So he ends up sending me money. Right? I never got a chance to go to the store, and that same night my bag got there. So then I was able to eat. So that whole trip was paid for without me spending $1 out of my pocket. And that's how I knew that, once again, God is real. If he says that he's going to do something, he makes it happen. So that was the very long version of why Millions was so impactful for before it even got started. So it was 2 days of entrepreneurship training, if you will, I guess. But what was really big for me was after the conference was when I was really just in awe. It was about a 2-hour drive back from that airport, and I drove in complete silence because I just didn't know what to think about everything that I received that weekend. And in that silence, God spoke to me as clear as day. It was so crazy for 2 hours straight while I'm driving, as if I could take notes. But he gave me my new assignment. He gave me the next things he wanted me to work on. He gave me clarity on my purpose even more so than what I already had. And in that car ride was born the School of Predestined Purpose. And you will find out more about that as I continue to come to you guys and talk with you all over the next few days. But there's also a link going to be in my caption for you to find out more information if you want to look into it today. So after I got back from the conference, God really sent me into a period of rest, and I really didn't know what rest was. I asked my friends, that's fine, thank you. I asked my friends, I asked everybody I knew, what do you do when you rest? Because after you get out of a 9-to-5, after you've ended your career, your whole life depends on what you create, which means I have to continuously create things in order to bring in income. I'm expecting a baby, we're in the middle of a move, and how can I rest, right? So all he told me to do was rest. I had to figure it out because he wasn't going to give me anything else. So I did that, and the week after, I finally feel like we're having a breakthrough. I finally feel like I feel rested. I'm feeling good, right? And I'm like, okay, the baby's going to be here any second now. Like, we literally don't know when, but I'm about full term, so it's time to prepare, right? So in that week, God finally gives us one of our promises. He tells us that it's going to be revealed, and it's um, waiting for us. It's going to be bigger than my pregnancy story. And again, once you know my pregnancy story, you will know why this is a really big deal. He says that this next promise is going to be bigger than my pregnancy story, and here we are. So we're still waiting in the last 2 weeks of July for baby Titan, as we called him or her, um, to arrive. And the last week, or like the third week in July, like I said, we were feeling really good. We were ready to go. And I'm thinking I'm about to get some self-care in. I'm about to get my hair done. I'm about to, just really be able to prepare for this baby to get here. No, my water breaks. And we are 2 hours away from my doctor and the hospital. And we are looking at each other like we don't know what to do. So we rush to Atlanta to have the baby, to thinking we're having the baby like that night, because of course movies and TV tell you as soon as your water breaks, that means you're going to labor. No, that's obviously not true. So the next thing we know, we are waiting around for a whole week in labor. And well, almost a week, but long enough. Um, but God shows up again and shows us that this was intentional and everything happened the way that He planned for it to. So He wanted us back in the hospital to make it back. No, we're staying in Atlanta this whole time, waiting for the baby to come, just like apparently you guys are too. And He provides for us every single day in every way. And literally, it was like moment by moment. It was unbelievable, but it happened. So I labor for a week, and he tells me in my journal one day that the baby is coming, and when the process starts, it's going to be quick. When I tell you I almost had the baby in the car because it was quick, I got literally within 30 minutes of us getting to the hospital, the baby was on my chest. Some of you may know, some of you may not. My husband and I decided to be surprised and not find out what the gender was until afterwards. Well, we really didn't have a choice because during the ultrasounds throughout the process or throughout the pregnancy, the baby never showed it. Like literally waved his hand, showed us his backside, everything but the sex of the baby. So when the midwife actually delivered the baby, we were both, like I'm saying one thing, and they show us, and we're surprised. It is not what we thought. So, but it's literally been so crazy that I have not touched my phone in probably about 2.5 weeks, other than to talk to the doctor and the midwife. Because A, he told me to rest. B, he really wanted that time to be with my husband and our girls, because this was a big transition for us. And I'm very grateful. But yeah, he really wanted that time to be for our family. So I intentionally did not um, hold like a lot of conversations or respond to a lot of messages or anything like that. As I said earlier, I didn't know what rest was until he made me rest. And that happened. Majority voted thinking that it was a boy. And that's exactly what we thought for the whole 9 months. And baby came out, and it was actually a girl. It was actually a girl. So we welcomed our third daughter to the world last Saturday. I had a couple people who said that it was a girl, and I guess they were really excited when they found out that they were correct, because literally like 99.9% of everybody who knew me, didn't know me, whatever, they all thought it was a boy. So funny thing is, we only prepared for a boy, because somebody, aka my husband, was 100% sure it was a boy. So we had no girl clothes. She left the hospital in very blue, neutral kind of looking clothes, but we will definitely be going shopping soon for girl stuff. But yeah, so it was definitely a miracle. I always said from the beginning, I feel like I was Mary, Anthony was Joseph, and we just carrying baby Jesus around here. I was simply the vessel because I had no idea what was going on. There will be more later about like more details about the process and the pregnancy, but just know only God, because yeah. But anyway, so once again, I also wanted to thank everybody who has either bought the book, supported, prayed, encouraged, just been there throughout this full journey, no matter where you came in on the journey. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, because it has not been easy. And I will say that once you really decide to give up control to God and allow Him um, to lead you in life, it's not easy. It's simple because all He wants you to do is be obedient, but it's definitely not easy, because He will ask you to do some things that will have you looking pretty crazy, aka having a baby out of nowhere, then moving you out of your house, taking you out of your job. And yeah, again, there's more on that. But He'll have you do some things that will look really crazy to the normal person. But um, but the thing about whenever you're doing things His way is that A, He will always provide, B, He will always protect, and C, He will never fail you. So no matter what you do, no matter what He's asking you to do or telling you to do, as long as you're obedient and you're in His will, you can look crazy all day, but He's gonna make sure that everything works out for your good. And that's one of the biggest that's one of the biggest points that He has me driving home in rerouting. Um, Apparently, that was only part one, because I have started on part two, because that was just the beginning. And like I said, the book goes out every Wednesday. So if you are interested in purchasing it, I will put the link in the caption. School of Predestined Purpose will be open sometime this month, and I will keep you all updated on that. And I will also leave the link for more information in my caption as well. And the last thing, if you have not seen my post today on both Instagram and Facebook, I was featured in Voyage Dallas, an online magazine, and it was very exciting. So God said He was opening new doors, and I'm ready to walk through them. And I can't wait to see what else He has in store for me to share with you guys. So if you want to check that out, I will also put that link in the caption.